97.9 The Box. This is DJ Eric, one part of the Big Tho and Eric show. Right now, you're tuned in to Tea with Monroe. Ooh, sex, love, scandal, harassment. Oh, you get the tea right now. Tea with Monroe podcast. You're officially tuned in.
Happy fucking New Year. You should see your face. What's up? Happy New Year. You don't like it? Happy New Year. Is that better? Oh my gosh. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, baby.
Oh my gosh, it's 2019. Can you fucking believe it?
Did it anyway.
I can't help it. Oh my gosh, y'all, we having this conversation in the background. Fuck is my favorite word. That's the only cuss word that I really truly use and commit to. And my husband has an issue with it. What's the problem?
I don't like to hear it. I mean,
this not for you. I'm a celebrity. This is for everybody who's listening.
I just feel like when you cuss unnecessarily, it just devalues the conversation.
We're not having a conversation.
Well, what I'm saying is you don't have to use the cuss words until maybe out of anger. I can
That's
understand
not true.
it.
Fuck is a beautiful word.
Trying to express.
I was expressing how happy I fucking am because it's 2019. What is the fucking problem?
Okay, I guess.
Oh my gosh, y'all, he won't let me live. He won't let me live. Happy New Year, baby.
Happy New Year.
So, 2018 ended yesterday. 2019 started today. Now, you know from experience, living with me in previous podcasts, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. However, I do believe in making some changes within yourself to be a better person, which I think should take place throughout the year, just not the first of the year. So just based on, not necessarily a resolution, but some things that you have been thinking about that you're ready to initiate, not necessarily today because it's 2019, but just in general. What are some changes you're going to make about yourself?
First of all, I see nothing wrong with New Year's resolutions.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Because it's a starting point.
It's fake.
It's basically a date that you're saying, I'm going to change my life from this.
And then you forget that shit on January the 2nd.
Maybe so, but it's to start from somewhere, so I see nothing wrong with a resolution, but things that I'm going to do different. This year, I'm going to try to be a better business manager.
Ooh.
So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to attend church more like I used to, or more consistent if I can.
Okay.
Let's see. I am going to just going to try to do some things to be better, whatever it is that I need to focus on. I don't know. I haven't really thought about other stuff than that right there. Those two things been on the top of my head.
So you don't think about, when every year, I think when a new year begins, it's a gift from God.
Mm-hmm.
We're here, we're alive, we're thriving. So you don't necessarily, like a lot of people, think about things throughout the year that maybe come to the forefront when a new year starts.
Let me think about this. So the way I approach a new year is I take time to wind down from what I've been doing.
Right.
Almost in all aspects of my life. And then I look at where I need to change. And I feel like this is a good time to try to make that change. So
Why do you think we use the first of the year to do that though? Why aren't we making these changes, these declarations, these new me's in the moment versus trying to say, okay, January the 1st, I'm going to be a new person?
I think it's just a starting point. So somebody can say the beginning of November, I'm going to do this, or the beginning of whatever, I'm going to change this. So it's just a date that you say, I'm going to go into this year. There's only one 2019 ever to ever be.
Right.
So that's probably why people say this year is going to be different, because there's only one year that you're ever going to be in 2019.
Right.
And that's just a year that you're just going to make a change. So, you'll never be able to get that year back. So, or that day back in that year or whatever it is. So you just start from a point and say, okay, I'm going to actually day by day do these things and make these
I just think for
things
me,
different.
right. I just think for me personally, I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly wanting to be a better person. I'm constantly trying to do things different. So when I come to a revelation or when the rubber meets the road where I need to make a change, I try to start right then. I don't wait for a specific date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain things, everything that we try to achieve do fall under the category of goals, but I definitely think that sometimes you have to just color outside the lines with some stuff, and I think when you attach resolutions to life-changing moments, it's not real. That's just my
I think it's a good thing.
But that's just my personal experience with me, because I know in the past when I have said, okay, starting on this day, January the 1st, this new year.
Yeah, but I think it's because you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Exactly. And I'm not, and exactly because you put too much pressure on yourself, and I just think it's unrealistic. That's just my personal opinion. And I think for me, this year, in previous years, I have not set any New Year's resolution. I'm constantly working on being this better version of myself. And one of the things that I want to continue to work on more aggressively, which I talked about today on my podcast, Just Tiffany. So check that out on Thursday, where I want to, no, that's a lie. It aired last week, Thursday, on December 27th, my last spiritual nerve, and where I talked about some things that I want to continue to work on throughout 2019. And one of my things is gossiping. And I never hear people, when they do their New Year's resolution, says, I'm not going to gossip this year. And for me, I found myself doing more gossiping in 2018 than I did in 2017 when I started my transformation to being a better version of myself. And I want new energy, so I've decided I don't want to talk about people's situations that they have not given me permission to talk about. So that's
What about celebrities?
That's different. I don't know them people, and they put their stuff out there for the world to talk about. That's how they stay relevant. And honestly, it's good content, to be honest with you. So in that aspect, but I definitely want to refrain from being very judgmental, because we tend to judge celebrities really harshly on their life as if we don't do jacked up crap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely going to try to not be so judgmental.
That's good. No, that's actually a good thing. You should be doing that anyway.
But you and I talked about this not too long ago about talking about people, how there's talking about people and there's talking about people. Now we talk about people all the time. We talk about our parents, we talk about our children, but we don't talk about them maliciously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if we're talking about personal stuff, it's not to be malicious. It's to find a way to probably troubleshoot, to maybe go back and help the situation. You know what I mean? It's not malicious. Then you got talking about family members and friends in a way of you're talking about their personal business and sharing things that they would not normally share with the person you're talking to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be conscious about that because I've been talked about and it doesn't feel good.
Well, the way I look at things is people will always talk to you and tell you the thing, excuse me, they'll tell you the things that's on their heart, what's on their mind, what's happening to them if they feel like they can trust you.
True.
They feel like they can trust you with their information. So what you do with that information is important. So whenever people tell me things, I try to help people. I don't try to talk about them. Now, if it's something I talk about with you that's that somebody shared with me, you know, I would hope that when I talk to you about it, it's something you can keep confidential. Now, if it's somebody you know, and if it's somebody that asks me not to say nothing about it, I definitely wouldn't do that.
That's the thing.
You know.
So that's the thin line right there. So do we need that? I don't know what the word I want to do, a legal term, but do we need that effort please don't tell nobody I'm sharing this with you, to know not to share it? I mean, we grown.
Well,
Some things you just should not share.
Right.
And somebody shouldn't have to tell you, don't
Correct.
share this with somebody.
Correct. So my whole point is when people start telling you stuff and they start giving you their personal information, you should protect it. It's the same as you would want somebody to protect yours. That's why they're telling you, because they think of you as a friend. Excuse my voices.
Every time we get on this microphone, you get spit in your throat. What is that?
I don't know. Must be a nervous thing or something. But basically, people are gonna wanna give you information about their lives.
Right.
So when they're telling you something that happened or what's going on in their life, and they need your listening ear or whatever it is, they expect you to protect it. That's why they consider you a friend. If they're telling you that, or it could be a total stranger. They don't know you. So I guess that's why people talk to total strangers. They talk to people they really
Therapists.
don't know.
I see, that's why I go to my therapist, because I can't trust y'all people.
So I don't know. I just feel like you should protect the information. You should protect people, and people will feel comfortable even telling you stuff. Some people just cannot do it.
Right.
Some people cannot handle information that comes to them. E.I. Tiffany, E.I. Ivy, E.I.
Who these people?
You know, y'all just can't really just hold it. E.I.
But see, here's the thing. You say, my kids always say, you can't hold mineral water.
Right.
And that's pretty sad. But the thing about it is, the information is not shared to be messy, to just hurt anybody. It's just like you're just talking about something that has touched.
Well, and that's another thing. You gotta watch who you tell stuff to, because some people stuff sit on their spirit.
Right.
You know, some people, they have to tell somebody because it's heavy on them. When you put it on them, it's heavy. I can hold a lot of people's stuff. For me, I for some reason, I don't know, I'm built like that. I can.
First of all, you don't even remember half the shit people tell you.
Maybe that's why. But you know, it goes in one ear out the other.
Right.
I tell you what I think about it.
You there
right
in that
then.
moment, but after it ends, it ends.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, that is what you're supposed to do with stuff. You know.
Well, you know, it was so important. I talked to your sister. This was years ago, and one thing she shared with me, I don't know what we was talking about, but then she came out and said to me, she doesn't talk about her children's situations because she don't want to ruin her children's reputation within the family, because people have a tendency to judge.
Correct.
And I was like, damn, I wish somebody had shared that with me sooner, or I wish I'd have known that sooner, because I have shared a lot of information about my children with my parents, with other family members, even with friends. And you don't realize that you are damaging your kids' reputation not with everything, but with certain things.
Yeah, because they're gonna be kids and they're gonna do stuff.
Right.
And then people, that's
yeah.
your kid, so you like
Move on.
move on, forgive them,
Right.
deal with the situation.
Right.
They haven't,
Right.
so they still thinking that that's that little fast little. She was fast at 13. She's fast at 17. You know what I mean?
And
Or
she may have
whatever.
changed.
Right. You know, or they
That was
thinking-
just a moment in
Right.
time. And because you shared that
Right.
with somebody, they still thinking, well, you know such and such daughter fast.
Right. Or you think of that son that, he got caught shoplifting.
Right, exactly.
And he, that's something he did when he was a
Put
kid.
your purse up when he coming
Right.
for Thanksgiving.
Right. So you never know. So
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what people do. Even family members now. I don't understand. You're supposed to protect each other. And
You don't. It's a competition. It's a competition these days about who's the better parent, who has the better kids, who it's just, and it's not a mean spirited thing. It's just a competition type thing. It's like, and then it's personal for you too, because if you got two siblings who had kids around the same time or remotely around this, not even the same time, but just have kids, and my kids didn't go to college and my sister kids did, it's like an internal, like, I don't know, not necessarily failure, but it's like a competition thing. Who was the better parent? Because you got to be truthful. We do judge our kids' behavior based on parenting, which I totally disagree with.
why?
Look,
Because
look, I talked about this on Just Tiffany. Nobody's gonna hold me hostage to my kids' decisions.
I
Nobody's
disagree.
gonna hold
I
me
disagree.
hostage to my kids' decisions, because you can't even put a time limit on that shit. So I mean, my kids are now 28, finna be 26, and 21.
Well, that's
They
different.
making decisions.
They're not kids at that point.
Okay, now kids is relative. I'm talking about, because even now,
No.
like your daughter is 18 and she's in college. Technically, she's grown,
can-
but if she
okay.
make a crazy decision, they're gonna be like, "Well, God, Lee, what kind of parent are you?"
Okay, hold on. There's a point to when your kids are independent and totally separate from you. That's at the point where they're actually taking care of themselves, and they actually are making adult decisions and making wise decisions.
But that varies, based on the situation, based on
Well,
lifestyles.
That's what I'm saying. It's wise decisions. Okay, because you're still parenting, even though your kids are grown.
Yes.
You're still being a parent
Right.
because you still got to give them good information. All you can do is give a child or a person good information that can actually help them. If you give them bad information, and you can say that's relevant, but if you're giving bad information, that's information that you know that can be damaging. If you're giving bad information to a child or any person, then it is reflected upon you. And what I mean is this: information
Unbeknownst to you is bad information.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to
Let me
you.
explain something. Even if you don't give any information, it's bad information.
Unbeknownst to you, you don't know what
I
you don't
understand.
know.
You don't know what you don't know. That makes you a bad parent.
Lies and the truth ain't in you.
No,
I'm not
hold on.
owning that.
No. If you don't know something and you are allowing something to happen, you are being, and it's hurting your child, you are being a bad parent because you're not trying to correct. You're not trying to.
What is
You're
that
not
in?
trying to figure out the correction. No. I said child. I'm not talking about some people that's
My
grown.
children are my child.
Okay. What you're doing is you're going way you're way ahead of me. I'm talking. Let's start from a child, a kid.
Define
under 18.
child. First of all, define child.
Let's define under 18 right now. Okay, under 18. There's a difference in some kids that just got bad behavior because they are defiant.
That's my fault too.
If you allow them to be,
That's
hold on,
different.
no, listen to me. If they're being defiant, and you allow them to be defiant, what I mean is, okay, so Johnny is mad at you because you didn't get him what he wanted. So Johnny treats you like crap, and you the parent, and you still get Johnny what he wants because he treated you like crap. you are being a bad parent.
That's not fair, and I've never done that, but that's not fair to people out there who are trying to do the best they can with what they have.
So what you should do with Johnny is not give Johnny what Johnny wants.
Let me say this. You know why I don't agree with anything that you're saying?
Why?
Because let me tell you something. I am not the only influence in my child's life.
Correct.
I am not the biggest influence in my child's life. I am a influence. I am a piece of the puzzle of their life. Now, granted, typically when children get older, and I'm speaking for myself, you do reflect back, especially if you do have a good foundation of home. You do reflect back and think, wow, mom was right, dad was right. Maybe I should have done some things differently. But today, kids are influenced by so much more.
Okay.
They take
so when you find out that child is in trouble, that child is
okay,
hold on,
I'm not
Scott,
talking about
you
that.
let me speak.
You ain't even let me finish my thought.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm saying is because the influences out there. So I'm not saying a parent who is doing lack thereof. I'm talking about me as a parent who has done the best she has with what she's known and raised her kids and tried to guide them the best way, the right way to do things. I'm not a criminal. I don't do criminal stuff. I try to teach my children the right things to do. And at a certain point, I don't care whether if they're living in my home or not. If they're making decisions outside of something that I've taught them, you're not gonna I'm not gonna allow you to hold me hostage to their bullshit.
We're talking about apples and oranges. I'm not saying that. I agree with
That's
that.
what I'm talking about.
Well, I agree with that because all you can do is give a child good information, is like what I said.
But I'm not talking about the parents that don't do.
So what I'm talking about is when you coddle bad behavior, when you actually make it okay, bad behavior.
That's different.
What you talking about?
I'm not talking about what you're talking about. You didn't listen to my initial thought.
What's your initial thought? Tell me what that is.
I was talking about nobody's going to hold me hostage to my kids making their own ass bad decisions.
Okay.
And that's initially what I said.
Let's find out what.
And you said.
What are you doing? Okay. If the child is making bad decisions and you're not, and if the child is in your presence, your child is in your home.
Let me tell you something. How often have you told your children don't do A, B, or C, and they did that shit anyway?
Okay.
Let's ask my question.
It has happened
okay.
a lot.
Now, if they did what the hell they wanted to do, and a consequence happened, and you've done what you're supposed to do, is that bad parenting?
I'm talking about continuous bad behavior. I'm not talking about a one-time bad thing that a child done that you told them not to do. I'm saying bad behavior in the way of you're constantly rewarding them for bad behavior. I'm saying a pattern. I'm talking about this is how they do. I'm talking about this is bad behavior. And I can say names, but I'm saying this is bad behavior, but you pacify it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about somebody sitting there dealing with what's the point of that? Who if somebody want to judge me for that, then they judge me.
Parents.
No, I'm talking about
a lot of parents pacify bad behavior. That's not necessarily
that's bad parenting. You cannot sit here and say that that's not bad. I'm not saying that everybody has bad parenting. Everybody has done bad parenting.
My point is, I don't give a darn what you're talking about.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna hold me hostage to my children who I love dearly. Whether I don't care how old they are.
Well, then
nobody's gonna hold me hostage to their bad decision making. That does not make me a bad parent.
Wait a minute,
because let me tell you something. If I tell my kid right now, don't do something, and he go out with his friends and do it anyway, that's
different.
Let's get on the same page. We're sitting here arguing about two different scenarios.
Hold on. Okay. I'm not arguing, first of all. I'm telling you that bad parenting is a pacifying bad behavior.
That's one thing.
That's all I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm not talking about that.
Okay, so
I'm talking about in general.
So you're talking about in general. If somebody, you talking about in general, where if a kid go do something wrong, then the parent they're gonna blame you. No, I'm not talking about that. That's common damn sense.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I have an entire Facebook group where I posted stuff out there. If a kid does something, guess who they attack?
Who?
They attack the parents. If I post a picture of a kid doing something crazy out there, guess who they attack? The parents. So my point is, my thought process in 2019, I am not allowing anyone to hold me hostage to my children. I don't care how old they are.
No, you should. No. There's a difference if a child is under your roof. I'm just gonna straight up say it.
This is not what we're supposed to be talking about today, y'all.
I know that, but look, we gotta get this out, because if a child is under your roof, and if a child is if a child feel like they grown, they're gonna make their own decisions, and they get from up under your roof, then that is their decisions, and that's their grown.
How many times have we seen on the news where a young black kid, a young adult, 17, 18, 19, 20, has gotten killed by the police, has I don't know, went to jail for something or whatever. We hear it in church. Right. And the first people they look at is the parents. At what point in time are the parents absolved of being held hostage for bad fucking decisions that a grown kid, that my grown kid has decided to make?
I can answer.
So my point to you is, and this, let me say this.
Rhetorical?
It was a rhetorical question.
Well, I'm gonna answer it anyway. So go ahead.
Go ahead and answer it then, smart ass.
Am I my brother's keeper?
I don't know what the hell you are.
You are. I am responsible for my loved ones. I am responsible for them. Now, whether they do everything I need them to do or whatever, but you're responsible for them. Whether or not that they actually listen to you, even after they do wrong, you're still responsible. We're not talking about responsibility. You just said when you get resolved.
We're talking about responsibility.
You get resolved or something. You said that means you are at fault. You are at blame. You are looked at.
No. Responsibility for somebody is something different than you being the blame for something that they're doing. I'm not now.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I'm just being. Maybe I'm black and white. I have no gray on this.
I don't have any gray with anything, and because I don't have any gray area, I just personally, this is for me personally.
I understand.
Because my kids are grown, and they don't make the best decisions. At this point in time, I provide wisdom. I cannot re-raise grown people. So at this point in time, it's shifted. So if my son, who is 21 years old, who lives on his own, who pays his own bills and does his own thing, gets out there and do some dumb shit that he knows better.
Correct.
I'm not gonna allow anyone to make me feel guilty as a parent because he made a dumb choice, is what I'm saying.
Well, I agree with that. Totally.
That's all I've been saying this entire time.
Okay, no, but I agree with that. But that doesn't mean as long as you still give them good information, good advice. But if he gets in trouble, you have to try as a parent to make sure that if depending on what it is, he never does it again. To your bed, you can't control it.
I'm not going to be responsible for that. But because if the consequence is not enough to show him that this is not what I want for bad behavior, I'm not going to hold that in my spirit.
I agree.
This is what's wrong with a lot of us parents right now. Running around here crazy, ragging, having heart attacks because of kids who doing stuff, and we running behind them trying to fix shit that they know damn well that they should not be doing. I'm not going to do it. And this is not what we came to talk about today on this podcast.
But it was pretty good.
It was good. It was good.
You getting all your anger out on me. And I'm trying to express it. I don't know what you're dealing with because something's going on in there dealing with the kids. So I guess, or with the grown kids.
Well, I'm very upset because nobody came to see me today for New Year's. So I am upset because of that. And I think I am feeling guilty, a parent's guilt. Because I feel like a part of me feels like if I raised them differently, they would appreciate.
That's unfair.
They would appreciate the significance of spending time with family on New Year's. I do feel like I have fallen short as a parent in their life growing up.
That's
for that.
unfair to yourself. That's
Could be.
not fair, because I don't know any parent that doesn't feel like their kids doesn't see them or don't come around or don't call them. That enough. I ain't seen my kids, but I'm not tripping on it. But
How does it make you feel?
I'm fine. I'm okay because I went to go see my mother. So I can't sit here and get mad at my kids. I understand it. You got lives. You're busy. You're doing things.
I just think they all
But-
selfish, and
but
if
you-
y'all
but you
listening,
making
y'all
it-
selfish. I made black eyed peas.
You're making everything about yourself.
I
And
am.
that's-
I am.
and
I
that's the
really am.
problem.
I'm in my feelings. You absolutely right.
If that's what you expect, then you need to make that a tradition that they come see you. So you don't do that to yourself. You can't. That's not fair, because you made a whole half of a podcast about something that, and we sitting there talking apples and oranges.
Welcome to
you
Tea
got-
with Monroe, the podcast
Yeah.
2019. We have so many great things in store for you this year. One of the first things that we're going to start doing in a couple weeks is we're going to start going live on social media. Right now, we're only going to do it on Facebook. I haven't quite figured out Facebook entirely, so we're going to keep it isolated right there. And then once we get better at it, we're going to go live on YouTube as well, on my YouTube channel. What else? We have a lot of things that we're going to make some changes on. We're just going to do a lot of different things. We're going to have some great topics coming this year. We're going to have some great guests. I'm going to be guest hosting on a lot of other great podcasts. We got a lot of things going on. I'm super excited. If you notice, I've changed my what's it called? My thumbnail for our podcast. It's a little sexy thing between me and my hubby. If you've seen that, it's cute. We took that on. We did that at a Christmas party. Was it a Christmas party?
No.
No, it was a birthday party.
Yeah,
It was a birthday party.
Freddie Pugh's
Yes.
birthday party.
A 40th birthday party. And yes, I was tapping into my sexy self with my Fashion Nova dress and my finger waves, my blonde finger waves. So we did that. Yeah, so we got a lot of changes coming up, and I'm super excited. So as time goes on, we'll definitely keep you posted. We have also decided to add an element of spirits, for lack of a better word. I have subscribed to the Tasting Room. They are not my sponsors. They are not paying me for anything, but that's my opportunity to try different wines and to broaden my palate. Since my husband says I only drink what?
Yeah, you're not a wine. You're a wine drinker, but you're not a wine drinker. So you only drink one kind of wine.
He said I drink wine on wine.
Yes, she drink wine on wine. She like it sweet. I can give us a boom for her. She be fine.
I have graduated way from Boom Farm and Mad Dog 2020. I promise you. My palate is, I haven't developed the taste for really fine wines that has been marinated in barrels for years. I just haven't, and I want to.
Right, she don't like the bitter taste of wine.
I don't.
Some wines are too bitter, because I've had wine that's like, ooh, that's like, ugh.
But because of health reasons and just wanted to broaden my palate, like I said earlier, I'm definitely going to try some different wines. So if you have a favorite wine that you'd like for us to try, email me at teawithmonroe@gmail.com of your favorite wine. And I also accept gifts, because I do catch a quick attitude if I have to spend money on a nasty wine. So feel free to inbox me, and I will give you my P.O. box to gift me a nice bottle of wine. And I will give you a shout out on the podcast, and we'll provide a rating and our feedback on the different wines like that, because I definitely do want to broaden my palate. I want to do some things different.
I like red wine.
Yeah, you like red, like Merlots and stuff like that, and I do. It just has to be sweet. But I definitely want to get involved in the Cabernets and some different types of wines.
The Chardonnays and the Caberets.
Exactly. Rieslings. I want to have different wines that are paired with different meals. You know what I mean?
All right.
So anyway, that's our plan for this year. So again, if you have a wine that you would like to suggest, email me, inbox me on all social media platforms, and I would gladly give you my address so you can mail me your favorite bottle of wine. How about that? So I'm super excited. So a lot has happened. We're going to try to get through this quickly since you hijacked my conversation.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You hijacked. You. I mean,
Okay,
you was
yeah.
clearly angry.
I was not angry. I just didn't like.
Passionate. You was passionate.
I just don't. Yes, I am, but I don't like nobody shut me up, trying to hush me, because I'm gonna hush you back.
Well,
You
look,
know what I mean? I just
look,
like, hey,
Monroe Bishop.
don't try to overtalk me now.
Look,
you know,
look,
hey.
I'm a celebrity. I keep
hear
trying
you.
to tell you that I'm a celebrity. And when I say
You know, you remind me of
What?
it used to be a movie, Superstar.
what,
Superstar.
Superstar, what movie is that?
I forgot. It's that girl that used to play on Saturday Night Live.
Who's the master? That's what my energy comes from. Who's the master? Show enough. That's where I get my energy from.
Oh, okay.
I'm a celebrity, so when
Okay.
I talk, I need you to listen.
Okay.
I'm serious about this, honey.
Uh-huh.
In all aspects of our life.
So you Monroe Bishop.
Show enough.
And guess what?
What?
I'm like, wow.
I knew you was gonna
That's
say
right.
that. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to my sister Yasha. She graduated from college in December. We went down there December. Oh, she gonna kill me. Was it December 12th she graduated?
Why is she gonna kill you by the graduation?
Cause I
day?
can't remember the date.
Who cares?
It
about
was
the date?
because it's important. My sister
She the only one
graduated.
that need to remember that.
Well,
is when she
true,
graduated.
but she graduated, so we went down there to Florida. She graduated from college. I want to give a shout out to my sister Yasha. That was a great time. So just because we went down there for the graduation, I did not make it for Christmas, so we had Christmas here. But I did get to meet with a lot of not a lot. I only have a few girlfriends. I don't really call too many people friends, but there are a few friends that have been with me for 30 some odd years that I reconnected with, and I had a great time. And I just want to just go over a little bit of the conversations that that was brought up at dinner. Let's see if we can get your insight as a male.
All right.
So we are a family of diversity. My family's in Florida. Yours here in Houston. So if a family lives in the same town, how do you spend holidays with your family if some of the family members don't get along?
That's easily what you mean. Yes, in every family.
Yeah, but people ain't putting up with stuff.
Some
Fights break
some
out.
people don't come. So I mean, just straight up, some people just say, well, if Johnny's there, I'm not coming. So I mean, that's how that is on with a lot of people. But usually, like in my family, let's just say my grandmother, when she was around, she would lay the law down before anybody come there. She'd call everybody up and just tell them, if you do this and you did, when you come here, I'm not having you, better not, and you don't come to my house, and you better speak, and you better act right, and she just laid down a law.
So your grandmother, regardless of who didn't get along or who she didn't
She
like,
expected you to be
she
there.
expected you to behave. That's
and-
how my
and
grandmother
act
was.
it right.
Right.
Yes, that's how it was. So either you respected her or you didn't respect her.
But both of our grandmothers are long gone. We have new matriarchs now who is
Right.
leading the frontier
Correct.
of family.
Correct.
And things don't always work out that way.
Well, it's the same principle. If you don't respect your parents, then of course you're not going to respect their house if you're going to it or any person's house. So if you respect your parents, you're going to go there and act civilized. I don't care if it's a cousin, uncle, or brother. Things do happen when people drink or people,
So is it disrespectful if somebody doesn't show up because they don't get along with somebody?
No, because people don't always show up on time anyway. So if they don't show up,
No. I'm just saying. You said when this is
if
mama's
they decide
house.
they're not gonna go, then they just have to.
Is
tell
that showing a lack of respect for the
it's not.
parent?
No, it's not, because I just think that if you know you're not gonna act right, then don't go. Don't go there and ruin people's Christmas.
But how do
or
you know you're
Christmas
not going to act
people.
right?
Because
Do you plan not to act right, or do you plan to act right? I mean, how much thought do we put into this?
I can say this. Excuse me. I can say this about my uncle Michael. When somebody upset him, he just walk away and just throw his hands up and just he gonna hold a grudge against you, but when he walk out the door, everybody gonna know he need to walk out the door. So that's just what it is.
Honestly, I'm very fearful of people who walk out the door in Texas
Why?
because y'all gun-toting people.
But we not the crazy state.
So who's the crazy state?
Florida's the crazy state.
you go to
It doesn't, y'all a gun-toting state too. So
yeah, but we ain't crazy.
y'all a gun.
Y'all shoot faster than we do.
Look. People move to Florida from all over the world
just so they could be crazy.
No, they never had guns. No, they was already crazy before they got there.
So it's not Floridians then.
So they Floridians now then. So they moved there and then they like, I'm gonna retire here. And I can get a gun? What?
And I'm crazy.
I'm from New York. I had to hide a gun. I'm from Chicago. I had to sneak a
they
gun.
They do the same
around.
thing in Texas.
Well,
Don't even try. Don't even try.
Well, we got a lot of people coming up from the South.
I think though, for us, getting back to the family thing, I think for us, because as a married couple, my family's in Florida, your family's here, we either make a decision, we're going to Florida, we're going to Texas. We never had to deal with the struggle of having to split families with the families being in the same town. It's kind of like our in-laws.
I dealt with that before.
So I mean, how do you make? Because I've never really had to deal with it, because in my mind, my family trumps. The white family trumps. But it's hard. I can't really say that. But in my mind, which is a big, vast universe, the white family trumps. What the wife? Okay, we're gonna go visit your family. We're gonna be here for this little bit over here. But then we're going to my family and we finna ride out for the rest of the day.
You must be from Florida. Cause they ain't where it work around. No.
But I have a lot of sympathy for people who have to deal with this, because we have in-laws here in your family now who have to literally split time. I mean, it's some attitudes going on.
Yeah, well, I mean that's part of.
So how?
That's part of family. That's part of having a big family, a different size of family.
We gotta help somebody though. How do you? Let's just take ourselves out the equation and help somebody who's struggling with this.
Well, I ain't gotta take myself out the equation to help you, because I can tell you exactly what I used to do. We found out what time everybody's dinner was gonna start. If they started around the same time, we'll let one of them know we're going to be late. And it depended on where we wanted to end up being at the longest.
So it's a compromise. It's working together.
I'm telling you, where we wanted to end up being at the
so how do you decide that when I feel like my family is the bomb family and your family is the born family?
That's what you're feeling like. So if we want to go to my family, because even if we both felt like that, we'll go to my family first. Because we know we're going to end up leaving and we're going to end up spending the rest of the evening at your family, if that was the case. So that's how we end up doing it. Now I'm saying we as in my ex-wife, because that's the only time I had to deal with that.
Right.
So then if we had to go to more than one place, what we would do is, even if we wasn't gonna stay at one location for a long time, we would go there a few minutes, let them know we're only gonna be there a short period of time. Then we go into our say a friend, a uncle or cousin or whatever. We went there first. Right. And then we'll go to one of the parents and we spend some time there. And then it's a matter of where it's located. So you really got to map it out, strategize it, and actually work it like that. Maybe you want to see my Uncle Johnny. So Uncle Johnny's only going to be there for a little while. We got family coming in from out of town. And they only going to, you're not going to be able to catch them if it's too late. They're going to be too tired, or you're going to see the whole family. So you're going to have to strategize what's your route on this thing.
So, I mean, that's a very good plan.
Yeah.
But just speaking on the emotional level, because, we have to keep it real. If we're trying to really help somebody, we got to talk about people.
What?
It is emotional for people, because I know for me personally, I suffer from severe homesickness. So...
But if you was at home, if you had to go from family to family, this is not going to be an issue. So let's.
But yeah, it is an issue with some people. This is the issue whether you live in the same town or not. You know people to this day who have issues now. It's difficult to navigate time when you want to be comfortable with, even though everybody's considered family, you technically want to spend the most time with your family. So it is emotional for some people. It really is. And then we got some family members, Ivy, who I'm not going to mention no names, who are last minute planners. So how do you manage time with family when you got the family who has been planning a month ahead and the family who planned the week out?
Doesn't matter. Okay, so the way you deal with that is this isn't anything. You're married, so you have to work together. You have to compromise now, because that can become an issue. And it's just like anything in a marriage. If you are married and you doing this, then you have to figure out how y'all gonna do it. And maybe somebody's gonna have to compromise and give more up than the other, but that is that's pretty much how you have to do it. So I would not say for one parent. There's no one way of doing it. You have to pretty much make a decision that you're gonna, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go do that, and then this, and then if she doesn't want to do that, you listen to her reasons, and then, but basically you have to make a decision.
I definitely agree that you have to dip into the spirit of compromise and just know that it's just not your feelings involved, it's your person that you love feelings involved, which is your spouse. So you definitely, my thing about it is the holidays don't change. The actual days may change, but the day does not change. It's either the 23rd of Thanksgiving or the 25th of December. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just think you have plenty enough time to, as a couple, determine how you want to map out your day and just be courteous and be sensitive to the situation, because we know our families. We know where our shortcomings are. We know where our strengths are when it comes to our families. And I think as a couple, if you kind of like work together, you can navigate the best way to deal with those type of situations versus having hurt feelings and arguments and having the holidays be a bust because we done stay 5 minutes longer at your family's house than we planned. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be we're going to be there from 1 to 3 and we out. Now, granted, I'm going to be honest.
Why shouldn't it be? It should.
Well, let's just be honest. I mean, this past Christmas, your mother planned things a little later than last minute.
Right.
So in my mind, I had already things planned in my head. I wasn't expecting what she had planned. So it was kind of like a monkey wrench in what I had going on in my mind. Mm-hmm. So I said to you, okay, so I'm going to go, but I'm only going to stay a short period of time because I kind of want to come home and hang with my grandbaby. And that was my focal point, is to hang with my granddaughter.
Right.
I felt like you had attitude. You know what I'm saying? Because we had not had seen your family in a while, and we had not had spent any time with them. And in my mind, I was sensitive to that.
That's not. I didn't have attitude.
You didn't, so I misread that completely.
Totally. I mean, the part I probably had a problem with. You wanted to drive separate cars. Okay. It don't matter what I'm doing. If I got something going on, you never want to drive separate cars. Now, I understand you want to get home to your grandbaby, but now I just made a mental note in my head that when I want to drive a separate car, it's gonna happen because you was serious about.
So you doing tit for tat?
No, I'm just saying that when you make rules,
I didn't make a rule.
No,
I didn't make a rule. I just made.
You made a decision.
I made a decision in that moment that works best for me and the time constraints that I had.
Correct. So
I didn't make a rule.
No.
I didn't change anything.
You're correct. So what I'm saying is, when I want to drive separate cars,
don't even try.
For whatever reason, it could be because a lot of times I was just like, well, I don't want to be there that long. You be like, I don't want to drive, and I don't know my way around. And
I definitely will be sensitive to that.
And I'm gonna be like, look.
And you have that, honestly, Larry, you do have that right, because I know I do drag you to a lot of places. And you are my designated driver.
You heard it.
You are, but you are my designated driver. Keep that in the back of your brain.
Okay.
So if we go into a place where the spirits are running freely.
Uber. Uber. Yes.
So another thing we were talking about, so when you get with old friends, we were reminiscing about high school and stuff, and we were also talking about people who didn't like us in high school and people we didn't like in high school. And of course I shared my stories of some of my experiences about some of the less than nice people that were in my life during high school, who are not necessarily in my life now, but in my Facebook circle.
Right.
And some of these young, older women, because we're a little older, are still talking and holding grudges from high school.
Right.
And we were just troubleshooting and just shooting the shit just basically about what grudges could possibly be valid and what are non-valid, and just some things and reputations. Mm-hmm. People's reputations that are people who are still talking about your reputation from high school.
Reputation follows, but go ahead.
It does. But at what point, okay, so I graduated, I'm just going by my timeline. I graduated in 88. Ooh, yes, I'm 48 years old. I will be 49 this year. Yay, for life. And I got this new declaration. I know you don't like me cussing, but I got this new declaration that I've established.
What's that?
Where I feel like bitches with energy. When I say with energy, those are people who are not nice. Those are females who are not nice females. Then I got my bitches. Then I got my look. No, then I got my bitches, because my bitches they cool. Like my mother referenced me and my sisters. What's up, bitches? How my bitches do? My mother does that to me and my sister.
Yes?
Yeah, that's our term of endearment. But then we got But then we got these bitches out here who keep drama going on.
Your mama call y'all bitches, seriously.
Yeah, she do. She say, "What's up, bitches? How my bitches? Good morning, my bitches." She do that to us all the time.
Well, technically,
but it's a term. But that's our definition. That's our term of endearment. So now, I'm defining the energy I put into the word bitch. Okay. So I got these bitches out here with a lot of energy, which means I don't really care for them too much. Who are all these years later still talking about rumors from high school and keeping shit going. What the hell is that? What is that? So we had this conversation with me and my girlfriends, and we was just like, what the fuck? And let me tell you something. You looking at me crazy, but my Facebook group has a lot of Klein Forest people in there, and they still beefing about high school stuff. At what point in time in your life do you let that shit go and just be grown and get to know the person I am now and not the person that I was in high school?
Well, yeah, I understand, but what the
hell?
So people got scarred in school. They had things happen to them. If you do somebody wrong, you should apologize. So if that person feel like you wronged them, but they didn't get to know you wronged them unless you let them know you wronged them. So then once you find out that you wronged somebody, that person should make a valid effort to try to extend an apology. And whether that person accept that apology, then that's up between them. But people's pride and people's egos get involved. People, we talk about what happened in our childhoods, and it scarred us in our childhood. So why wouldn't somebody bring up something from high school?
No. I'm not talking about things that are scarring, because I have an incident. I always got a story. So in high school,
no, you don't need to tell the story. Don't worry about it.
I want to tell this story because it's gonna make or break this conversation.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I had a story in high school. I'm gonna make it short.
Okay.
Where it was 3 girls, 1 guy. I was one of the 3 girls. And we were all trying to get this one guy's attention.
Okay.
One of the girls was his main girlfriend, sort of speak, according to her. He didn't make the other us 2 feel that same way, but she was pregnant. It was one that was pregnant. One was really, really popular. She was a cheerleader, and he was a football player, so that just made sense. And I was just pretty, and he just liked me, and I liked him, and we just clicked. I was that cool friend that we just happened to click. So it was 1 guy, 3 girls.
All right.
I was always beefing with the cheerleader, trying to fight her, whatever.
You were trying to fight her?
Yes, I was just like,
why were you trying to fight?
Because he was mine. Okay. Dang it. And so she was always beefing with the quote unquote pregnant girlfriend who says that she had been there longer than the other 2.
Well, she was
there before his popularity.
She had one up on y'all.
Yeah, because she had a baby on the way. So So, but she was the one who was the badass out of all of us. I mean, she could fight. So,
Why she was pregnant?
well, I'm just saying in general, she was a
Was
fighter.
she pregnant?
She was pregnant, but the whole time she was pregnant, she was quiet, dormant.
Nobody knew she was pregnant.
Yes,
okay,
of course,
okay.
yes, of course we knew she was pregnant.
Okay.
She stayed in her lane. She didn't try to fight with either one of us. She was like, okay, in her mind, probably thinking, okay, bitches, I'm just gonna wait this out. I got 10 months, and once I drop this baby, it's on and popping. Guess what? When 10 months came, it was on and popping. So instead of her trying to go after the cheerleader who was messing with her, she came after me because I never bothered with her because I knew she could fight. I ain't no fighter.
I mean, you were the threat. You were the real threat.
I guess I was. I didn't know that. I guess I was. I appreciate that. But so she came after me.
That's with nobody, man.
And we got into it really bad. And she jumped me and she tried to tear up my senior. My mother had paid all this money for my senior pictures. And she came after me. And I was in a position where couldn't defend myself. And I cut her.
Yeah, I know you a cutter.
Yes, I cut her. Now, fast forward to now. And even before now, I'm 48 now, even before now, I have tried several times throughout the years. Now, I know we'll never be friends. And I know that there's probably, you can apologize to people doesn't mean it's going to change anything.
Right.
But I've tried over these years to apologize because I feel so much remorse, so much guilt about my action as a high school kid that I wanted her to say something. Not necessarily I forgive you, but thank you for apologizing. Something just to absolve me of some of this guilt. I've tried to apologize to her over and over again. And she won't accept, she won't acknowledge, she won't do anything. Now she said since married this guy. Thank God she did. Thank you. Because some people just need to take some people off the rest of our hands, okay? But my thing about it is,
Where did you cut her?
in her face.
What? Dang it, too. What you expect this girl to be like? Girl, I forgive you.
Don't make me cry.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
necessarily
okay. All right.
expect forgiveness. I just not necessarily expect. I need for her to say, fine, bitch. You apologize. I get it. But I'm still mad. You know what I'm saying? We'll never be friends. F you. Something. You know what I mean? And to me, that would equate to forgiveness. You know what I mean? Because it was such a heated moment, such an unnecessary moment. And
Well, you could have did more damage than that. You could have ended up killing her. You could have cut something bad and it could have damaged.
I could have.
So I'm gonna say this.
Now that's different. Let me cut you off.
Okay.
I know you want that. That's different than somebody taking a whole rumor from high school and applying it to your life 40 years later.
Correct. All right.
So that's the difference.
Okay. So let me just say this. So some things you're just not gonna get from people. You gotta have a realistic understanding that some people are never gonna forgive, and some people, but that's not on you. You repented for whatever you done. You're remorseful for whatever you done. You feel bad, and you know that what you did was probably overkill. Probably, you know what I mean.
At the time, I didn't think so.
But maybe not. I mean, you're young, so
I felt threatened.
I mean, I've done some things that could have been bad too, because could have been worse, But so you're never gonna get some things from some people, so you kind of have to really deal with that within yourself. Now, taking somebody and they ruining your name, so basically lying on you, people lying on you. Now that's a whole nother thing because that's even more damaging you cutting somebody in the face. And what I mean is, it's even it is sinful. It ain't almost, it's sinful. It's like actually lying about somebody, saying that they did something when they say they didn't, or when they know they didn't, when you know they didn't. So I would say that I would say this. So I would not be sitting around waiting for somebody to accept something from you. But if we talking about somebody taunt, changing your taunting your Well, put it like this: if you were, some people was hoes in school and was a bully, or was had a bad reputation for doing something in school, something they really did. But you got to think about it. They were kids. Some of it was made up and lied upon them. From one, because I know I had homeboys that would sit there and lie about a girl, and that's just to make themselves look good. But they never did anything that they said they did with that girl. And it just exacerbated. Or sometimes a girl did do something with a guy, and then the guy went around telling everybody about. And now the next thing you know, this girl is known for doing this particular thing. So girls. That's
so what's the answer? What's the answer to that? Because I get the part about the forgiveness, and
right.
And I think at some point I will come to terms with her never saying anything to me.
Well, why do you bring up the reputation thing? Yeah.
First let me finish this because when I was talking to my girlfriends and a couple of them were from high school, I do, like I said earlier, I do hoard a lot of guilt from that time frame. It was in 1988 or early 88. It was before we graduated.
Right.
And I'm sincerely sorry. I mean, I've never been a violent person or somebody who made plans or premeditated anything, and in that moment, I was in such fear for, I can't say my life, but
from your mama,
from being hurt because I knew she was going to kick my behind, and from my mama, from her tearing up my stuff. And the first thing I grabbed is what I grabbed. And I just, and I know we'll never be friends. And I know that she's always going to be scarred because I've looked at her pictures and I do see the scar. And she's still beautiful regardless. But I want to be able to say I'm sorry. And I want to hear, okay, bitch, you sorry now? What, something? You know what I mean? Just something. Right. And I don't know why I need that, but I'm going to be, if I don't ever get it, I'm going to be okay. But just long as you know who you are, and if you ever listen to my podcast, or if your friends who still hate me listen to my podcast, just know that I am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart, because I have never intended to hurt anybody. I don't take any gratification in that, and it doesn't make me feel good. And I honestly, truly believe, because I know at some point we were friends. We were friends before him. You know what I'm saying? But we was kids. We were kids. Well, little girls fighting over a guy. You know, I know how y'all guys were. Y'all football players and jocks and stuff. Yeah. Had the girls vying and fighting. Y'all thought that was cool for girls to be fighting over y'all. Yeah. You know. But in terms of reputation, it was recently that I reconnected with somebody, and this group of girls, y'all remember her from high school. She was sucking D. First of all, I don't ever remember sucking anybody's D in middle school or high school, ever. And third of all, did I say first of all, second of all? Anyway, whatever all, we 48 years old. Bitch, I know you done sucked some dick since then. You know what I'm saying? So why are you why are you regurgitating something? First of all, now that rumor I've never heard.
That was very rare for a girl to do something.
Exactly. Exactly. But my point is, here we are, 48 years old, and you want a reason to be mad. So you're talking about some imaginary dick that was sucked in high school. You bringing this up, and then the group of girls were talking about it as if it's going on now, like I'm with your man right now doing something. I'm just like, at what point do we grow up and change the way we think about people? Because let me tell you something. These group of girls, and we did a podcast on this, the Don't Care Bears. It was a group of girls that were bullying me just ridiculously. We did a podcast on this called Don't Care Bears. You need to go back and listen to it. And I talked about this same group of girls that bullied me, because me and one of the girls in the group were best friends for years before her and I stopped being friends, and she became friends with these other group of girls and talked about me so bad. And I found out that in this conversation with my current group of friends that things were said about me. And I'm just like, how old are we? And why are you still mad about high school stuff? I was the one that was bullied. I was the one that was kicked out of high school because I was going out of school out of my district. So the school felt that because even though you're using somebody else's address, you don't belong in this school. It'll be probably the best for you to go into the school that you should go versus keep this drama going on. So my life was the one that was turned upside down. But bitch, you mad and you talking about me. So I'm just trying to understand, why are we still talking about this? Because I was open to, because that day because one of our group of friends' mother had died, and they just all happened to be there. So I'm open. I was on the, hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how's everybody doing? I don't move past the bullshit y'all put me through high school, but you still mad about some imaginary shit that was made up in high school and using that as a means to still be mad. And then they said they were still mad because of the girl that I cut. Now that's between me and her. That's between me and her. Y'all didn't have anything to do with this. Nothing whatsoever. Y'all chose a side because the side wasn't mine. You know what I mean? Y'all had no viable reason.
Well,
for
if one of my best friends,
it wasn't that. They chose a side because the side wasn't mine. It wasn't because we was best friends with anybody.
But they were a clique. Right?
No, they weren't a clique. The group of girls were a clique, but the girl I got into the fight with, she wasn't a part of that clique. She was her own individual person. Okay. She's never been a follower. Okay. So, but they were friendly with her because all of us had been friends at one point. But you know how kids do.
You was in that clique, huh?
I wasn't in that clique. You missing the point. I wasn't in the clique. But this is important because I don't even know why I'm letting this bother me. But we had this conversation at dinner that night, and I got so heated because I'm just like, why these bitches still talking about me? Why?
It's amazing how women, this stuff bothers y'all. And what I mean is, yeah, well, women just keep stuff up like this, but I would not care if one of my homeboys was talking about me.
It's different for guys, and you've said that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what I mean by homeboys, but when some dude I knew back in the day and whatever it is, and he don't like me for some reason, I'm like, I don't give a rip. So if he ever came in my presence, I just had my own. I'm like, yeah, I know what you were saying. And if it's that bad, if it's something that's personal, I will confront him about it. But I don't know. I just don't get it. But how do you know that the person that was telling you this information, one, was actually being accurate in what they were saying and even telling you the truth? I don't know who was telling you this, but they could have misheard and it could have been one person that was in there talking about you, and the other one was like, oh, okay, yeah, could agree.
You know what? I'm not gonna sit up and dissect that stuff. I know they're all friends still.
Right.
I see stuff on Facebook. I've since unfollowed and unfriended a lot of people, and that's for my peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Because
so why would you unfollow and unfriend somebody? Did they say something to do something to you to make you unfollow them? Did they say something about you?
Yeah, I just told you. Not on Facebook personally, but I'm big. You know me. I'm big on energy, and that particular day, even when I talked to one of them on the phone, and we talked on Facebook, because like I said, one of the girls in the group, me and her I used to live with her. We were best friends. Mm-hmm. We were really best friends. Mm-hmm. And, y'all want to coin me a hoe because people like me. And all these years, I was sitting here thinking something was wrong with me. I don't even want to bust out crying right now, but I literally thought something was wrong with me. But then I found out later from people we grown now that I'm talking to who are nice. Mm-hmm. Tiffany, they didn't like you because you were pretty. People was actually interested in you. You know what I'm saying? Just because I had multiple boyfriends don't make me a hoe. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it depends on what you're doing with the most.
Listen.
No, stop.
You listen to what I'm saying.
You crying. You getting upset over something.
What you just said was irrelevant. But what makes me, just because I had multiple guy friends, don't make me a hoe.
Oh no. Slow down. Let's slow down. You're correct. It don't make you a hoe. But what makes you a hoe?
That's not what I'm dealing with now. I was made a hoe because they chose for me. They made up rumors about me.
Exactly.
Because they didn't like me.
If it wasn't true, then it wasn't true. But you had multiple boyfriends. That doesn't mean you were doing anything with them boys.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is they made up stuff because I was pretty. I had no idea.
I agree.
That I was pretty. I thought I was the ugly. I was pigeon-toed, sway back.
Well, that's not ugly.
I had acne. I had braces.
Well, all kids had acne around here. So,
but my point I'm trying to make is my life was made to be miserable. I'm like, bitch, why you mad? You had the ideal high school years. You made my years miserable about a boy who didn't even like you.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but this obviously really bothered you in school.
It bothers me now.
Well, what I'm saying is, people making stuff up about you, lying on you. That comes with. I had people lie on me, even stuff.
Your guy is different.
I understand, but my point is the same thing is. People are always going to do that, no matter what you do. That means you're doing something. If they're talking about you, then you're doing something in life. If they're not talking about you, you're not doing anything that's worth being talked about.
I guess for me, we really didn't answer the question as to why, just in general.
That they talking about you?
Not me personally, but just in general, because I see it in my group with a lot of your high school. It's like people are still fueled by stuff that happened so many years ago. And I think because of my personal experience with it and dealing with, this is why I'm not quick to judge people. Men, you've had conversations where you've seen somebody's behavior, because I think you're very judgmental. And we've seen somebody's behavior, and I'm like, you don't know her story. You don't know his story. We can't sit up here and make a whole judgment call and categorize somebody because we don't know their story. You know what I mean? And
I agree that you don't know a person's story, but I'm judging somebody from their past is probably not fair. That something that far ago, but you can make judgments as far as what you want in your life and what you want to be dealing with. So if I'm judging somebody from something that they've done or that I know how they are, and maybe I don't know their story, but how is my relationship with them is going to affect my life. So if I'm going to judge somebody and they have no relevance on me, I'm not going to sit there and just talk about them for no reason.
Exactly.
But if they're going to affect my life, like this person is reaching out to me, trying to hang with me, trying to be my friend, still trying to be in the same places with me, trying to be, people meet up with people and end up being the last person they ever should have met because it can take their life. You never know how that person is thinking of something. If something bothered me from high school like that, you don't know how it affected them. So if I'm around somebody that I don't feel comfortable being around because I didn't like how they was in school, and I don't really know them, I just don't want to be around them. Nah, I'm not going to be around them. I may be judgmental, but it's for my own.
Well, I mean, that's a little different because I wouldn't necessarily, for me, it's not about judgment. I wouldn't definitely be around them just because I know how them bitches feel about me. Bitches with energy. Right. And so I guess I was looking for answers. I guess there is no answers. I guess, some people, they are who they are and you just can't change that. And I think you grow as a person based on your experiences and like they are who they are from how they grew. And I am from my experiences from what I grew. And a lot of that energy back then has impacted the way I am today. So me not giving a fuck and using the fuck being my favorite word means a lot because I gave a fuck back then. I let them dictate who I was back then. I let them make my life miserable because I gave a fuck about what they think. You know what I mean? So I've changed the definition of the word for me and who I am today.
You 48 years old.
Exactly. And I've been in years of fucking therapy behind that shit because I'm just like, what the hell? They had more than me, 2 parents.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean,
They were just mean, and maybe that's my
mean
resolution to this. All of this, they was just mean.
And you know what? They got movies about mean girls.
Yeah.
And they got stories about mean girls and stuff. And sometimes this young girls can be just really just the hardest people. But they got bullies, guys, and I had bullies, you know, but.
That's why
It made me stronger. I just.
Right. But you know, these days, that type of stuff has people committing suicide.
Correct, but
just doing crazy stuff.
They're not mentally. I mean, a person is, to me, let me reframe that. To me, a person that is willing to take their life probably don't have a strong.
No.
Probably not mentally strong anyway. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not strong. They're not mentally at that particular time strong. So because you're able to withstand somebody bullying you makes you and not kill yourself makes you a strong person. I don't think
mentally
at the time. Yeah, I do think it's mentally strong because you know to want to end your life, you have to think that it's better. What you're dealing with, you don't think it's temporary. You have to think
you don't know it's temporary. You think it's forever.
And it's never forever. Nothing's ever just forever. Even going to prison for the rest of your life, at some point you have to, realize that mentally you can free yourself. So. Right. I don't know. I don't know.
I think my question has been answered. It was kind of answered that night when I was with my girlfriends. It's just people gonna be who they are, and they are not my friends. They are not.
Well, I didn't know this bothered you so bad. I mean,
oh my gosh, we did a whole podcast on this.
Oh yeah, I know, but you still getting emotional behind. I guess
because it's not emotional from being hurt. It's because I'm angry. I think it's more anger now. Before it was hurt, lack of understanding. Just why didn't they like me? I was looking at myself, thinking something was wrong with me. But I think now that I do know there was nothing wrong with me. I really do, and I just feel like that anybody that bullies somebody, the bully is the problem. You're the problem.
Yeah.
And it's something that you're dealing with personally or whatever. And if you are 30, 40 years later, still talking about some shit that happened in high school, clearly you have no life. Clearly.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about somebody who sucked dick in high school and you sucking all these dicks now, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you didn't do that in high school, so.
But that's my point. But you doing it now, so what are you talking about?
Well, but it's a difference. You was in high school doing it, and you're a grown woman doing it. That's a different thing. So that's what the difference is.
What did y'all call girls who suck dick? They call them chicken heads in Florida. They call them chicken. What they call them here?
They call them girl that suck dick.
Oh, they call them chicken heads in Florida. Oh, that bitch a chicken head. She a chicken head.
Well, I don't know. I guess it could have been that.
I don't remember ever being called a chicken head, but.
But I mean, I guess they did call them that. But my point is. They could have called him that. I have no idea, but
who just real quick? Who defines popularity in high school? What deems somebody popular? Who's the popularity police? Who determines who's popular?
Popular comes from, well, let me just, from my own personal experience. I remember I came from Crosby, Texas. So I was known by a lot of people because I grew up there. But was I popular? I moved out there in the 8th grade. So I don't know if I was popular or not, but I don't think I was. I didn't feel like I was. I feel like I was bullied.
Just thinking about who was popular.
What? So when I got to another school, the new kid, you can go either which way. It can make you or break you. I chose to be great, if that makes sense. Nobody knew me. It was a fresh start. I became great. So I became popular. Now, then there was some times in that period where I had created some enemies and I had some angers. And what my point I was going to make you about the popular. So my sophomore year, my freshman year wasn't that great. I had made a lot of enemies. I had a lot of people that tried to, we got into, just some close friends, and I just decided to cut some things loose. And my sophomore year, I had made a decision. This year, I'm going to use your words. Well, I can't use your words. I ain't messing with nobody.
You ain't fucking with nobody.
I ain't messing with nobody. I'm to myself.
Right.
But during that process of that year, as you grow older, you mature, your body matures, your face matures, you start looking different. So from that freshman kid to that sophomore kid, I had became like even more greater, if that makes sense.
So it's the way you carry yourself?
So I carry myself where I didn't mess with nobody. I hung by myself, and I found people coming to me. And I wasn't trying to do it. I kept to myself. I played sports. I was good at it. I was quiet, and for some reason, people was attracted to me. People came to me. People want to speak to me. Was liking me. What's up, man? How you been? Man? So next thing you know, I'm friendly. I become more popular. I did good in sports. So it's usually popularity comes from a personality.
Okay.
So either you can be popular for what you do, or you can be popular for who you are, how you act, your personality. So popularity comes from the more people that like you and who dislike you. You can be popular and disliked.
So I guess I was popular because nobody liked me.
Well, it can be.
I was disliked popular. Popular.
Well, you can be.
Because now that I think about it, I think I was popular.
You could be envied. You could be envied. So they can envy you, and that could be a dislike. It
was just the weirdest thing because I was really quiet in school. I didn't bother nobody, but just like everybody.
I had my haters.
My mother sold my clothes. I didn't dress. I didn't have all the Jordashes and the Sassoons and the Levi's. I'm just trying to figure out what y'all mad at me about.
They envied you. You had some.
Because I was still cute.
Well, see, you didn't even realize.
I didn't realize it.
So this the deal. So when you are when you envied or when you hate it, you don't know why they hate you or dislike you or don't want you to succeed or whatever it is. So they're gonna do everything you can to try to embarrass you, try to hurt you, try to ruin your reputation. So a lot of stuff probably came at you like that. Now, what you do when you have haters and envy or whatever is just you be greater. So I just think that you can be. I mean, people are gonna come after you when you're doing something. They're gonna talk. You got something to talk about. Whenever you're on top, there's always gonna be somebody that don't like you. There's always gonna be that person that don't like you. Now you can be on top and not realize you're on top.
Honestly, I'm glad you said that because now that I look back on that time, I fit that scenario because I kind of I stuttered. I didn't talk. I kind of fell back in the shadows, but I was still noticeable without even saying anything. And I guess, back then, kind of like it is now, people, especially females, they're very territorial, especially when it comes to boys. And even if a boy just like you for a friend, it's a threat to a lot of females because they looking at you in a way that they're
So
not
the girls,
they're not looking
girls
at
need
them.
to tear you down. They need
They have
to
to tear you down in order to
make
build themselves up in the eyes of whoever their attention they're trying to get. Because, and I'm not saying that I was perfect, but I just know if you could just see me and parallel with some of the other girls that disliked me, it's like they had every reason to feel good about themselves because back then I wanted to be them. I wanted the things that they had. I wanted the life that they had. And I couldn't understand why I was being mistreated. And I didn't have nearly as what y'all had. You know what I mean? So now that you say that, it kind of makes sense now. And I guess it takes, and look, I've been in years of therapy.
Well, you're talking to me though. See,
good grief.
I'm the whisperer. I can. See
You're the high school whisperer. You're the bully whisperer.
No.
The chickenhead whisperer. Anyway,
well, I can say this. There were some people that did things in high school that even I did things in high school that, I kind of wish that I didn't do.
You think you mistreated some people?
Nah, I was never one because I was mistreated.
Right, me too.
When
I never
was
mistreated.
younger.
Yeah.
What I mean is like when I was in Crosby, I got kind of like mistreated. So when I went to Klein Forest, it was like, I was great.
Well, let me back up. I'm telling a lie. I'm telling a lie because in middle school, I told you about that story about Juicy, she was really, really.
Oh, Juicy came after you.
Yeah, and if I don't know if she's still with us today or if she's still out there. And honestly, it's so sad. I don't even know her name because we referred to her as Juicy in Meadowbrook High School. I am so sorry. That was the only person I have ever tried to bully, and I was trying to show off to be friends with some other kids who had been picking at her. Right. But because I was being picked on too, she was like, okay, look, we in the same category, bitch. We're eye for an eye.
She probably thought you was her friend.
Well, she didn't. I wasn't her friend. I wasn't. I mean, we were both being bullied in middle school, and let me change this. I was not necessarily bullied, but nobody was my friend. I was kind of like an outcast trying to get friends versus she was being bullied. And because the people that I wanted to hang with was picking on her, I was like, well, maybe they'll like me if I picked on her. But I guess she decided this bitch ain't got no friends. She ain't got nobody. She just like me. She just ain't getting, baby.
You know what? You probably shouldn't think for her, but I think she probably felt like, who are you, like this new girl or this girl
who ain't no better than me? Nobody don't like you either.
Well,
but baby, let me tell you something. When she came after me, we both got paddled though and got suspended. We got that, they paddled back in school. Then we got paddled and we got sent to suspension or whatever for fighting in school. And baby, I ain't never bothered with that girl again. I can't say she beat me up, but she darn sure tried. I think if she wasn't so big and could get to me, because I was fast, I was just all over the place trying to get away from her. And then we had a substitute teacher that day who was pregnant, who could not stop her, and she would just. I mean, I feel like the ground was shaking. She was coming. I just feel sorry because I remember her in school, and I used to feel so sorry for her because she would literally sit in school, and we had free lunch back then. She would literally sit in school eating cucumbers. She would eat cucumbers
trying to lose weight.
I don't know if that's what her. I don't know. She was huge, like 300 pound life huge, and I think.
Yeah, she probably had a problem.
I think maybe her parents probably did that. I don't know what her life was like. I don't know, and I will tell you this: that is the only person that I was ever remotely mean to in school. I was never mean to. I kind of like gravitated toward the.
You never been a mean girl when you were grown, when you grew up.
Now, what I did do because I was bullied, I kind of like people who weren't that aggressive. I took the aggressive tone with them. I didn't bully or be mean, but I took an aggressive position in the friendship or in the relationship because I felt like, oh, they ain't gonna say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like, I didn't mistreat them. Does that make sense? But I kind of like took on the power. You know, usually when you're friends with somebody, somebody usually have a little bit more aggressiveness to them in the relationship. Because a lot of people I hung with growing up, as I got older, were more powerful, more confident than I was. They didn't pick on me. We were good friends, but they were more confident than me.
Right.
You know, in terms of like we would go out there, take the lead, and handle this difficult situations and stuff like that. So, but if I found people who weren't like that, I would take on the, like I was Billy Badass or something, like Bridget. Like I want to apologize to Bridget because we worked at Ticketmaster together and she lived with me and we found out that we weren't compatible as roommates. And she left and didn't pay her portion of the light bill. And I harassed the hell out of her. She ended up losing her job. I think it was $81 she owed me. And I harassed her.
I harassed her too for my $81. You paid my money. You don't believe
I mean, we was living in some high-end apartments. And you just can't leave me with that kind of bill. And I'm in between jobs. And then you just go up and just leave because my friends that came over smoked weed and you didn't like the way it smelled. You wanted to... You know
what? That was mean of you.
Well, yeah.
You should have told your
but
friends.
You know
she
what?
Lived there. You should have told your friends.
But
to
you
leave.
know what? Before she moved in, she would come over and those same friends. So she knew what the lifestyle was like in my house, in my apartment. You know what I'm saying? So just because you move in, that don't mean stuff change.
That's right. That means she had an agenda to move on you anyway.
Shut up, crazy. Anyway, this has been very therapeutic. I appreciate your time, sir. And I want to tell everybody once again, Happy New Year. This is our first episode of 2019. A little more emotional than I anticipated. We didn't quite get through all our topics, but that's okay. We never do. And it's usually because of the hubby. Yeah. So we got some great topics next week. I just don't know what they are right now, but but just look forward to some great things from Tea with Monroe, the podcast, and look forward to seeing our beautiful faces on YouTube and Facebook. And yeah. Oh, I got a website for Christmas from my hubby. So check out my website, www.monroebishop.com. Go out there and subscribe to that. And that way you can stay abreast of any and all things that are going on with the podcast and any updates and giveaways and merchandise that we got coming out later this year. So, yeah, good things. Happy New Year, everybody. Good night.
See you later.
I appreciate everyone who is listening to the podcast.